Today I continue to share with you another interesting story in the Garden of Eden. Okay, so here's the verse that we use today is the Genesis chapter 3 verse 8. Let me read this to you. Then the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and they hid from the Lord God among the trees of the garden. Is that interesting? Right? These two guys hiding in the garden. Okay, so before I go deep into it, then let me review what we have been through last time. All right, last time we know that, okay, God created man and woman and put them into the garden that the God created. And we also know that they have the heart of God. Essentially the same heart, God. With God in their heart, they are living in a perfect harmony. Besides, they have a good relationship and also living in the harmony with the garden together. Happy ever after with God together. The trouble that these people get into is that because they eaten the forbidden food, so they no longer have God in their heart. Okay? They no longer have God in their heart. So, using this diagram, they only see the world like themselves. They no longer have the spirituality or the heart to know where God is. Okay? So this is what happened, right? So last time I say that for this world, you're using your eye to make a decision. And if you want to see God, you need to use your heart. But now they no longer have the heart of God, then now they become just purely using the eye to judge. So if there's a good money to earn, okay, I just do it because of more money. So that, right, it's no longer taking into account about the meaning behind what you're doing. Because if you want to understand the meaning, you need to use your heart to understand what you are doing. Okay, so this is the big difference. Now get back to the passage. Okay, this is the interesting story because now you see that, right? They hid in the garden. What happened? Why they hide in the garden? Well, it's really understandable to all of us, right? Just like if you have a kid, if you put the chocolate on the table before you go away, and tell your kid, okay, don't eat it until I come back. But when you come back, the chocolate disappear, and the kid also disappear. Would you wonder why? Everyone knows, the kid take the chocolate and then go away. Just like these two guys, right? They hide from the law. They know that they did something wrong, but they hide it, okay? So, yeah, really, really understandable, all right? But something more serious happened in this passage. I hope that you may pause the video, take some time, take a look at it. Something even more serious, okay, happened in the garden and right in front of your face. Okay? Use your heart, all right, to take a look at it. What does God tell you? What happened in the garden? So one thing here is that both the man and the woman heard the sound of the Lord. Will you wonder why they only can hear God? Before they taking the forbidden fruit, they have a perfect relationship with God. They know where God is. They know that the flower will come up at the right time and become the tree, having a fruit, so that we have the fruit to eat. No more, no less. Everything we need is right there. No doubt someone must prepare such a thing in front of you. Even though you don't see God with your eye, because their heart, they know this must be God. So Adam and Eve and God were living together in a really in a harmony. All right. So they don't need to worry. Even though when the tree, the leaf flapping, they know that something is going through and then must be going somewhere, and everything is organized really well by God. But now they're no longer able to know who God is or where God is. Now they can only hear. Their heart no longer working. They no longer recognize where God is. And even worse is that we call them the Almighty God, right? God to the couple become just the wind. The wind of the cool day. They can only hear the sound of the wind. They don't even know where it is. How terrible this is. They're supposed to have a really tight, good relationship with God. And now today, the Almighty God became just the wind. They lost their spirituality. Their relationship with God has already broken. That's why God to them just become the wind. They no longer recognize where God is. And even worse, besides they don't know where God is, they have a broken relationship with God, they also fear. They hide in the garden. How horrible this situation is. Well, looks like it's just, the kid just taking the forbidden fruit and hide away. Well, it shouldn't be a big deal. But if I explain it further, you will know it is much more serious. Now I give you some basic background about what the trouble these two guys is getting into. But why is it related to us? All right. How does it relate to us in our life? Why we need God? Okay. If they have a broken relationship with God, well, doesn't relate to us. I hope that today I will show it to you that the same situation happened in us right now. Okay. So here, okay, let me continue this journey. All right. So we see that once they taking the forbidden fruit, they reduce their relationship or the family from having God in their life, have a harmony, living together, and also harmony with the world. And now it becomes just two persons living in the world alone. They're no longer able to see where God is. God to them just become the wind. They have no clue about what's going on. So that's why they're scared. Or one reason they're scared, okay? There's another reason they're scared, okay? So they're scared. They don't know what's going to happen. Is it going to rain, or is it going to, the fruit is running out of fruit so that we will starve to death? They scare everything. Before they have a good relationship with God, know everything, but now they know nothing. Now, the situation, if you is that the real situation, or maybe the word that I would put in, is that they're supposed to have a profound, in-depth understanding to their world. All right? They exactly know how things happen. In-depth understanding to the world. Because with God, they know everything. But now, because without God, now they reduce it into really superficial. So they only using their eye, or maybe their mind, okay, because they no longer use their heart. They can only use those information, the things that to analyze the world. They try to predict the world, okay? But the future is only owned by God. Nobody can predict exactly what's going to happen. All right? And so Many people still try to become God, but I mean, try to behave like God because they want to predict the future. But no, no way. So this is, we reduce it from the in-depth understanding to our world into the superficial. Now, let me take another analogy, okay? Assuming you have a kid, okay, they married and they're living next door to you, all right? And you are the father, and then go into their house, you may see a few things, okay? Now, the same family, but you may notice different layers of the family, okay? So let me just let you through this, and so that help me to explain, what happened to us, all right? So you may go into the house and see no one else in the house. Now, they do living in the house, but how come the house look empty? What happened to them, right? They married, they're living in the same house, but why the house look empty? Something wrong, right? Okay. But also, in some cases, you may see the house, but you only see one person. How come? It's supposed to be two persons, right? Where's the second one? Now, I think we old enough that we see that in some family, the man is bigger than the wife, so the wife is actually hiding behind the man. Or the way around, the woman may be so big, not the size, I mean the ego, okay? And the husband reduces to too tiny, whatever happened is only the woman come out. So you may only, so the woman basically dominant the house, so that you only see one person. So the other person hiding behind the other person. So you only see one person in the family. Or maybe you can see still, okay, equal footing, man and the wife, but they're living in the same house as a stranger. How come? They're supposed to be married, right? But why two persons living like a strangers in the same place? You probably see the all kinds of family in the different form, all right? And the number 4 is the one that, okay, two married person, okay, but still living in the same house. I think it's very typical in our society. And also, we may have something like this. So two persons living together, heart to heart, and looks like is whenever the husband doing something, the wife follow, or the wife doing something, the husband follow. Okay, they have some fun time. So must have a good relationship because they have the same heart. But the most harmonious family is that these two hearts, if you look closer, actually they have the same Lord, that they are between them, so that they have a harmonious life because they have the heart of God. Now, this could be the same family, but really depends on whether you look carefully, whether that family is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Do you have the heart to recognize, is this family as a God family in the heart, or you just, okay, well, just a house, okay, or maybe just a man in the house? If we are taking a superficial position and looking at the relationship, just counting on the wealth, how many cars they have, how many kids they have, what school they go, what job they do, you reduce the family from a higher level into a superficial level, which is you're just counting on something that you can see. But if you start to use your heart and looking at the other people's family, you may see something different. So in the same way, when we're looking at this passage, do we recognize that these two persons already see God as a win? Basically meaningless to them. are we also seeing our God meaninglessly? Has no meaning in our life. Now, the Bible, after I did explain this, now we see that their spirituality from a very profound in-depth level down all the way to the superficial level. This is their trouble. This trouble happened on us also because we also looking at this superficially. I can only skim the text up to this point to illustrate this point to you. Now, there's something I still don't understand. I'm still superficial. Because if we have the God in our heart, we would know exactly why this passage is written this way. Because what we want in our life, okay? It's not worth it that if you have a wonderful family, however, we don't recognize it. We are having a family like this, but you see, which is the empty family. Without the heart, you won't see this. You will see your family look like this. Maybe a little bit better as the lonely man in the house, or maybe two strangers living in the house. Maybe a two married couple living the life together. But this one, starting to have some fun because the husband and wife is having a single heart. But they don't recognize that that single heart is actually behind their heart is the God. So what we want is that we want God back into our life, into our heart, to become a perfect family. So this is what happened. Even the first chapter or first story of this trouble illustrated in the Bible. In the Bible, there's tons of the similar example of the different form. Okay, I hope that today I discover something more profound to you, that how our spirituality degraded from the very high level down to the superficial level. This become our troubles because we only see the world with our eyes, not using the heart of God. So, see you next time.